Hey, everybody, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News. And this is a special podcast for the ITAD Association and TR Publications. And I'm very pleased to have with us Kayla Kuchera, who is the Director of Outbound Sales for Dynamic Lifecycle Innovations. Kayla, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Doug.
And so, first of all, welcome and congratulations upon being a member of the ITAD Association. I'm so glad we're able to do this inaugural ITAD Association podcast. So, yeah, before we sort of dive in, just tell us quickly, what is Dynamic Lifecycle Innovations?
Yeah, great question. So Dynamic Lifecycle Innovations is both a recycling and IT asset disposition company. We have warehouses in Wisconsin and Tennessee, and we work with B2B companies around the world who look to recycle their assets. And then we make sure data is wiped clean from any incoming devices. Additionally to that, we look for any products that we receive that have resale value, and we work with our e-commerce channels and our wholesale teams to sell those products, or if no resale value exists, we send those over to our in-house shredding system and make sure that every product is recycled responsibly.
So this is what ITAD's really all about, right? In other words, we come to you and you guys make sure that everything, not just the drives, but everything that we're giving to you in terms of technology equipment is properly and safely disposed of.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think number one is really what we care about, is making sure that we're keeping electronics out of landfills, and we're also taking care of data security too.
So, Kayla, how's your company evolved as demand for sustainable IT solutions has grown?
Yeah, so I've only been here just short of a year and a half, but in that time frame, our company has grown tremendously, and I'm not just talking headcount. I've seen everyone from not only our inbound operations, customer experience, and outbound teams lean in when faced with a challenge or new ideas, but we really do whatever is needed to make it happen. That involves investments in current and new technology, investments in talent in our teams, but also investments in our inbound customers to meet their needs too.
So, let's define some terms. You started talking about like life cycle of IT. So, what does that mean? What is full life cycle of IT?
Yeah, absolutely. So really, when we partner B2B with those companies, we bring that IT hardware into our facility. And the first thing our team does is asset track it. Many of our customers want to know that we received all of their products. So we make sure to asset track and provide that information back to them. From there, we take those products and we put them into data wiping and testing. And then once those products are wiped and tested, they can go to our finishing department where they shine them up like a new car. And then the final step is delivering them to either the e-commerce or wholesale team, depending on what we consider resaleable through e-commerce channels or through B2B wholesale. And anything that doesn't have resale value, we send into our in-house shredding team.
So there's a lot going on here, and it's good for people to understand. Not everything is being headed to recycling. Some of the recycling essentially is a second time for the equipment. It goes back into service.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what my team does. We spend countless hours looking for downstream markets to find where this product can go and find the most revenue for it. If we can put items back out into the market, that's a number one focus for us, is really buying refurbished instead of new.
So let's get into that a little bit. So how do you guys actually extend the life of IT? Because that's actually the biggest part of recycling, right? We don't have to go out and build that gear again. We already have it.
Yeah, great question. So similar to what I mentioned before, we do our best to find markets and downstream customers for all the assets we get in our door. We even take it a step further and do repairs for products that may come in with small damage, like a broken screen or keyboard that may initially be deemed scrap or wholesale, but now we're able to turn those into e-commerce grade units for resale. And in general, for extending the life of IT equipment, my team does research and talks to people all over the world to understand what they buy and what is the value to them. Just for example, a Generation 5 laptop in the US may not have much value with not being able to support Windows 11, but there are countries where a Generation 5 laptop is considered higher end and they can use in their schools and businesses there.
So this is important for people to understand that you're looking across the country, across the state, but across the world.
Yes. Yep. We will sell anywhere, of course, with our certifications we're allowed to, but we do sell all over the world.
So, how do you balance maximizing reuse with ensuring responsible recycling when equipment basically reaches its end of life?
Yeah, this is one thing that we really care about deeply. So, on one side of the house, we do ITAD, which I just walked through. On the other side, we are a certified and sustainable recycler. So, if we ever come across assets that we are unable to sell, we turn them over to our recycling team to take care of. So, we have a three-story in-house shred system, which, if you haven't seen, we have a video of. It's very, very cool. But we use it to break down most of our non-resale items. So, our shred system uses a variety of technologies such as magnets, vision systems, eddy currents, as well as manual pickers to separate an input into over a dozen outputs. This level of separation allows us to go as far down the supply chain as possible, also selling most materials directly to processors that are turning it into raw materials. For example, our circuit boards are able to go directly to a smelter and turn into precious metals.
So, it sounds like there's three things going on. There's like ITAD, there's recycle, and then there's resale.
Yes. Yep. And ITAD is kind of tied into the resale side of things, where we take it in, and then ITAD is where we decide whether it's recycling or resale. But yes, it's kind of the top of the funnel, if you would think of it, or the top of the umbrella.
And I know how to put this because I know there's rules about ITAD and so on, but it also sounds like you're saying there's a kind of standard level on all these steps. Like, in other words, if the equipment is headed for new use somewhere, like you said, it's not just sent; it's been tested, it's been refurbed, it's up to snuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, and ITAD means that if it's being disposed of, it's being disposed of correctly.
Yes. Yeah. We, again, that is so important to us. Our number one thing is to keep electronics out of landfills, keep our planet clean. So whenever we can find an opportunity to resell a device, we do.
So, along with the concern of making sure that things are disposed of properly in terms of environmental, there's also that huge concern about data security. And there are all those horror stories of how, almost innocently in a way, data has just leaked out there because a gap was not seen in the disposal of equipment.
Absolutely, Doug. That is something that's very important to us.
Well, how do you keep that? How do you maintain the first thing I heard was the customer actually knows the first time you even touched equipment, right? And then they keep on knowing.
Yeah, yes. So we provide reports to all of our customers, but data security is our number one priority when handling retired IT assets. So every process we have designed internally makes sure every device is sanitized and data free before it goes for resale. For example, every device needs to be run through our automated testing software to detect for an onboard storage device. And if the unit is unable to run through the software, or if it fails, we recycle it in-house. No questions asked. And those steps will also eliminate the possibility for human error.
So, like, even if equipment is being headed for the shredder, as you put it, there's still it's been cleaned up in terms of data.
Not exactly. So
Hmm.
if it is unable to be wiped, let's say that it's a very damaged piece of hardware.
Oh, I see.
Um,
Okay.
we then choose to shred it, to send it to our shredder to make sure that it is getting stripped so that that data is destroyed.
But what I just heard also is during that time of we got it, and okay, this thing can't even run, but it's in your hands the whole time. It's a secure thing, and then it's shredded, and there's eyes on it the whole time.
Correct. That's what's really fortunate about us is we do have an in-house shredder and a recycling team. So some ITADs I know they partner with an off-site recycling team. We're very fortunate to have all of that in-house. So the asset is always staying with us throughout its journey.
So, Kill, let me sort of zoom out here because you've got this great thing on your wall as we sort of turn to sort of, what excites you about doing this. You mentioned you're relatively new to this work, but
Yeah.
how are you finding it? And you guys are, of course, are new to the ITAD Association too.
Yeah, it's been great. Getting into, so not only new to this company, but new to the industry. This has been by far the most fun industry I've been in. This company alone has been just a phenomenal one to work for. You can see our core values behind us. You know, we have core values like have fun, serve with love, do the right thing. And I think all in all, our company really, from top down, really leans into just taking care of each other and taking care of the planet. So as much as I love the industry, the company really brings it all together for me.
And yeah, let's stick with that because one of the things I'm struck by, the first things you just said about those core values are people. Those are things for people, not equipment. That
Yeah,
you should enjoy work, treat each other nicely, and so on.
it's true. It feels like a family here. I have worked at several different companies, especially larger companies, and I would say we're not as large as the companies that I've come from. And the family feeling we get, and again, just the leadership team we have here, I think it really starts from there. And we've picked the right leaders to really bring that down to the team level, and share that love and respect and that fun that we have, and that keeps things exciting. I'd retire here if I could, or if I can.
That's quite a statement. Let's stick with this for a second. Now, is all that then connected to then the actual work? In other words, those values with regard to employees, with regard to how everyone conducts themselves and stuff, is that somehow connected to the way the equipment is handled?
I think so. At the end of the day, not only do we take care of each other, but we know how important it is to take care of the planet, take care of our inbound customers that are giving us this equipment. And by taking care of the equipment and making sure things like data are wiped off of it is also securing our jobs for each other. So you can imagine if there was a data breach, that's probably going to cause a bit of havoc if we lose a customer and there's turnover and things like that. So we're taking care of each other by taking care of the equipment. And we're also building that trust with our inbound customers too, that we are someone they can trust. We're someone who's always going to do the right thing and make sure we excel with excellence when we do it.
So, if companies are considering how to handle their retired IT equipment more responsibly, what advice would you give them?
Well, considering it is the first big step in the right direction. So number one, I'd give them a thumbs up that thank you for considering it. But in addition to that, my advice would be to find a partner who's passionate about sustainability and doing the right thing, and also prioritizes taking care of your needs as a customer. We know that for some companies, disposing of your IT assets isn't the top of their priority lists or even in the top 20 things. So here at Dynamic, at least, we do what we can to meet the customer where they're at, make it an easy transition to start moving their assets responsibly.
Well, Kayla, I really want to thank you for joining me today. I want to congratulate you guys on becoming the newest members of the ITAD Association. Where can people learn more about your organization?
Yeah, great. Well, you can start first with our website, thinkdynamic.com. That's where we have all of our different service offerings available and how we can help your company. I would also recommend following us on LinkedIn. From there, you can see all of our thought leadership, our blogs and podcasts, plus news about what Dynamic is doing. And lastly, you can absolutely reach out to me, whether it's me or someone on our team, and we can connect more.
Well, I'm looking forward to more podcasts and more videos about what you guys are doing. Let's make sure everybody in in the ITAD Association and also in the general IT community is aware of what you guys are offering. But for now, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Doug.